Obviously, you can see by the numbers relatively exact calculations of what is needed to balance their books at the end of the year.
Thank you. Through the Vice Mayor to
Councilor?
the City Manager. It wasn't clear from the memo that we got that these were out-of-district tuition costs. It could very well be that these are in-district special expenses, special education expenses, but you're clarifying that these are probably out-of-district.
I would say, because it's going into other ordinary maintenance, it's for tuitions outside the district.
Thank you, Mr. City Manager. Councilor Van Buskirk?
That's fine. Thank you.
Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call, Madam Clerk.
On the transfer of $428,437 in the school department, Councilor Chung? Yes. Councilor Decker? Councilor Kelly? Councilor Ma?
Yes.
Councilor Reeves? Vice Mayor Simmons?
Yes.
Councilor
Yes.
Toomey? Councilor Van Busekam?
Yes.
Mayor Davis? Yes. And the order is adopted on the affirmative vote of 8 in favor with 1 recorded as absent.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We now move to number 4, pulled by Councilor Kelly. Transmitting communication from Robert W. Healy, City Manager, relative to $100,000 transferred from the General Fund School Travel and Training, that's Judgment and Damages account, to the Public Investment Fund Extraordinary Expenditures account, which will enable the district to upgrade the wireless capacity at the Haggerty and Baldwin schools to a managed wireless network, and will allow these two schools to have wireless capabilities in all common areas of their buildings. Councilor Kelly, you now have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. Through you to the manager, that comes out to $50,000 a school. And my only question is that a number that can mean anything to us in terms of other discussions about internet access or wireless access for other places, or is this just what these two projects cost and we shouldn't extrapolate in terms of planning other computer-related programs?
City Manager?
Through you, Madam Chair, to Councilor, it obviously is particular to a building, but it's not, I guess, that different unless the building's 2 or 3 times larger. I guess this is clearly the school department has received estimates for what it would cost to do these wiring the common areas in these schools, and it's approximately $50,000 a building.
Councilor Kelly?
So when we talk about other wireless projects we might want to use, is this at all a number that has any relevance in thinking whether it's...
I think it's a good rule of thumb for a similar square footage, yes.
Councilor Kelly? Further discussion?
Madam Vice Mayor.
Councilor Van Busekam.
Thank you very much. Through you to the City Manager. So I have 3 questions. One, I just want to make sure that, because I'm still not completely clear of how where the overlap between the school department and the rest of the city is. I just want to make sure that the school department is collaborating closely with the IT department in order to bring this wireless capacity or capability to these 2 schools.
Mr. City Manager.
Yes, the two agencies do collaborate. There are specialized IT needs for schools that don't spread across the city spectrum, such as scheduling and attendance and grades, but for wireless, we have a collaborative approach.
Okay, that's good to know. And it's a nice round number, 100,000, which makes me wonder if there's been an engineering study to determine what the actual cost would be, or if this was just a realization that we have 100,000 in the employee medical services account. We need to have wireless capability, so we'll just set it aside for that wireless capability. I just wondered if there was an engineering study to actually determine what the real needs were.
Mr. City Manager.
I don't know the exact answer to that. I'm assuming that there is some basis. Steve Smith is the director of IT for the school department and is quite competent, and I would be have faith that he arrived at this estimate through some analysis. I'm not sure they had paid for an engineering study, and clearly this is another one of those cases. If the money isn't spent, it would be able to be used for the other schools that yet need to be done if it can be brought in at less money than this. Whether there's been an engineering study, I don't know that it's necessarily been one that would be needed. Clearly, we've done the wireless in the high school, and there's an experience in wiring or making ready school buildings to be capable of handling wireless. I don't know that there's been an engineering study, but I'm sure that they are pretty close to the right number.
Okay, thank you, Mr. City Manager. I just know that with old buildings, I mean, the Baldwin isn't necessarily old. Depending upon the construction of the building, it can cost a whole lot more or a whole lot less than, a general rule of thumb might indicate. And the Haggerty is quite a bit smaller, I think, than the Baldwin School. But just wanted to have one more question answered, whether the wireless capability would be set up such that it could actually, the neighborhood around it, if this were operating 24/7, the neighborhood around it could also benefit from this wireless hub?
Mr. City Manager.
I assume if you want to sit outside with your iPad, you'll be able to latch onto it just as many people you see on the City Hall lawn are utilizing the City Hall wireless network. I'm not sure what range